Anytime you have a very popular theme park, you're going to get regular guests that come on a pretty frequent basis. Among those will be some, shall we say, interesting and unique people. Disney, of course, is a very popular theme park destination. They literally get millions, tens of millions of people a year attending the theme parks. And among those, you have a number of regular guests, annual pass holders, people who come frequently. And of that number, there are a select few that are, shall we say, unique individuals. Among those, of course, you've got people who don't know how to dress. You've got the ladies wearing the stiletto heels while trying to walk around the theme parks. You've got people that just plain wear inappropriate dress sometimes, and things like that. You kind of learn to just ignore them. But when you see somebody on a regular basis, often enough that you begin to recognize them among the tens of thousands of people in the park, when they do things that make them kind of stand out, not always for the best reasons, you get to know who they are, at least a little bit. And among those were three particular people at Walt Disney World that really kind of stood out on their own for people that were a little bit different. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. Now, you know that I love Disney pins. I collect pins. I've got several hundred of them. I enjoy trading them. I enjoy coming to the parks with my pins and trading pins. But there are people that take this to a bit of an extreme. You'll see people that will wear 4 lanyards just filled with pins. You'll see people that will have pins all over their hats. You will see people that just wear all sorts of stuff, or carry around giant books in the park with all of their pins. Disneyland actually has a regular day, Tuesdays at Frontierland, where if you walk through the entrance to Frontierland, you'll see people that have pins spread out in books all over the benches and tables. People love their pins. But there was one person at Walt Disney World that really went to another level with it, shall we say. He often wore a cowboy hat that was covered with his pins. That was normal, even in the Florida heat. But what really set him aside as unique was the way he carried the rest of his pins. He would actually wear a duster. A big, heavy, thick duster. Ugh. This is what I would wear when I was a train conductor. He would wear this, completely covered with pins, all the way down. Just tons of them. Now, this coat is a heavy coat to begin with. It weighs probably 5 pounds. You put that many pins on it, and it's going to weigh 50 pounds or more. And he would wear this into the parks on a regular basis. Hat covered with pins, long duster heavy coat covered with pins. In the Florida heat. 90 degrees plus with humidity, and he's got on a heavy coat covered with pins. I don't know about you, but that's just a little bit weird. I wouldn't wear this in the Florida heat anyways. In fact, the whole time we lived in Florida, I think I actually wore this coat twice. It's just too hot to wear a duster. And here he is in the middle of May, June, July, August, wearing the thing covered with pins. Okay, dude, there is such a thing as an addiction. You might have it. He would come in the park and we'd be standing on Main Street shooting pictures, and it would just be, oh, there he is. Know why he wanted to show off. Understand, but that's not the way I would have chosen to do it. If you really got to show your pins, come up with a different way other than looking like some night stalker in the middle of Magic Kingdom. That's just weird. There was another lady that would really only show up during Star Wars weekends over at Hollywood Studios. Star Wars weekends was a huge event that went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 4 Sundays in a row. generally May and June, right before school got out, and it was a great way to bring people into the park. They had all the Star Wars characters out. I mean, just about all of them with a name. And you could go meet them, get your pictures, get your autographs, and everything else. And it would bring out the Star Wars fandom. The 501st Legion came out, and they marched in the parade in their full gear. We had a ton of fun. You got to meet some really unique people. You got to meet some actual stars from the movie franchise. And then, of course, you combine Disney and Star Wars, and yeah, it definitely had some unique ones as well. There were some people that came in dressed as Jedi and getting pictures. There were some people that thought somehow they were part of the Star Wars universe, or they were sure good at pretending. And then you had, let's just call her Laura Skywalker. This is not the name she used, but if you worked there during this time, you'll know exactly who I am talking about. Laura Skywalker, I don't know if that was actually her real name, if she had changed it to this, or if it was just a name she used in the parks. But this lady basically fancied herself as Luke Skywalker's wife. And she was convinced of it. She dressed the part, she had her lightsaber, she had a rolling suitcase that had Luke Skywalker's name on it, along with hers. My picture doesn't show that part, I'm sorry. All sorts of Luke Skywalker toys and stuff attached to it. She followed him around. I mean, look at the expression on this poor guy's face. Like, please get her away from me. She was practically a Luke Skywalker stalker. She really saw herself as Luke's wife and thought that this was her role. He'd be at the meet and greets, she would be there the whole time. She'd meet him, and then she'd just stay there and watch. When he walked in and out, she followed. Anytime he made an appearance, she was there because she's Luke's wife. I know your first thought is, well, okay, maybe this lady has some issues, some disabilities. She didn't show any obvious signs of those. I've got an autistic niece. I've worked with special needs children, and you do get used to and learn how to identify certain signs and things when you work with them. And, you know, there's different things that are signs. She didn't show any of those. She was just strange. It's the best way I can put it. And if she stopped you in the park when Luke wasn't there, she would talk your ear off about her marriage to Luke Skywalker and their future and what it was going to be like to go wander the galaxy with him. And you're just listening to her going, lady, you're not in this world here, and I don't quite know where you are. But she's talking straight, sane, and normal outside of what she's talking about. Laura was a very interesting, very obsessed person. And I just don't know how else to put it. She was nice. She wasn't a psychopath or anything at all like that. She was just in her own little galaxy far, far away. Yeah, we always knew when Laura was coming, and if we were working with Luke, we tried to be careful to make sure that there wasn't an issue with too close, too constant. There was one other one that really kind of stood out, and I would see him again over at Magic Kingdom for the most part. He would sometimes show up at other parks, but this was another guy that was a Magic Kingdom regular, and that was the tattoo guy. Now, tattoos are no big deal. People have tattoos, but this guy was different. He took it to another extreme. He was covered in tattoos. And when I say covered, I mean literally toes all the way up to neck. He left his face open, but everything was tattooed. And I mean, he would wear shorts and a muscle t-shirt and sandals, so you could see everything. And they were all Disney tattoos. Every single one of them. Every body space you could see had tattoos. And he made sure that you knew that because he loved to show them off. He deliberately wore clothing that you could see them, and he was not averse to taking his shirt off so that people could see his chest and his back. And now, of course, you know, this is not appropriate Disney wear. Some of them were really neat. He had a Donald on his arm that by flexing his muscles, it made it look like Donald was walking. It was kind of cool, and he could do things like that with some of the other tattoos. The problem with this one came because he didn't just like to be in the park with his tattoos, he really liked to show them off. Really liked to show them off. He would take his shirt off to show people his tattoos, which is a big no-no at Disney. You keep your shirt on. He drew attention. He would do things to draw people to him so they would see his tattoos. Like, he would deliberately stand in a place flexing so people walking by would go, "Oh, ooh, look, what's that?" He deliberately attracted attention, posed for pictures, and this is where you run into the problem. Disney wouldn't have had a problem with him if he was just there visiting the park with his tattoos. But he liked to try to make himself an attraction, to make people think they needed to come see him. In contrast, let me give you an example. There's a gentleman who just retired from Disneyland named Maynard. Maynard was a cast member. Maynard was a very popular cast member. Maynard did a lot of things to help make attractions like the Haunted Mansion and Great Moments with Lincoln more fun by putting on this character and enhancing the attraction. And people liked to get their picture with Maynard. Maynard was very popular. Maynard was in such a way that he drew attention to the Disney company as a part of that. This guy didn't do that. He was drawing attention to him. It's why if I'm in the parks and people recognize me, you'll notice I will oftentimes step out of the way into a corner where we're not drawing attention. There's a reason for that. It's because I'm not an attraction at Disney. This guy thought he was. And it caused issues between him taking off the shirt. He would hike his shorts so that you could see more. It was just not appropriate, and it caused problems. And it caused him to get walked out of the park several times. I think they probably banned him at some point. Yeah, don't do that. You're not the attraction. I don't know what's happened with him, if he's been to the parks anymore, but he was interesting. So those are 3 unique people that I saw on a regular basis at the parks. Have you seen others? Have you seen someone repeatedly that would be a bit different? I'd love to hear your stories. Share them in the comments below. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to my supporters, my YouTube members, and patrons for making these videos possible. If you want to know more about that, as well as so much other stuff and contact info, merch, check the description below. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. God bless. Ooh, just as the battery's about to die. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to know about contact information, fan pages, merchandise, and more, please be sure to check the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to know when I have new ones, well, make sure you hit that subscribe button right up there. And if you want to see another one of my videos, well, I've got a great one for you right here. And a huge thank you to these wonderful people here who support me on Patreon and with YouTube memberships. They get behind the scenes information, special perks, and more. If you'd like to know more about that, well, make sure you check that button right there. Thank you so much.